In this video, we'll take a look at where your resources are in the class. So the second half of statistics is usually pretty complicated for students. So right now in Module 5, Chapter 9 and 10, Confidence Intervals and Hypothesis Tests, is challenging material because you've never seen it before. So there are some things that you can do to help yourself learn the material. So first thing I'll always recommend is in MyLab and Mastering to read this section in the textbook. So when you open MyLab and Mastering, you'll have the option on the front page for chapter contents. So I'm going to go ahead and click on chapter contents. We're on chapter 9, section 9.1. So if you're not used to reading the textbook, it would be great to start doing this so that you can just get a good understanding of the vocabulary. So estimating a population proportion. As you read through the textbook, take a look at the examples, read them very carefully. You'll end up with a lot of explanation. And when they go through examples, let me find one. When they go through the examples, many times they'll do the examples by hand. So they're going to talk about critical values. Here we go, interpreting a confidence interval, how to construct a confidence interval. And then they'll have an example worked out by hand on the left-hand side, and then a technology approach on the right-hand side. So you've got a couple of different technology that you can use. Now, it would be nice to read the by hand approach, but please don't rely on that. It gets more complicated the further we go into chapters 9 and 10. Rely on technology instead. So how do you know how to do this using technology if this just walks through? Okay, there are a couple of places where you can see the technology approach. At the end of each section, let me get to the end of this section. There's sample size. There's a technology step-by-step at the end of each section. They've got technology directions for the 8384 for a program called Minitab that we don't use, Excel, StatCrunch. So determine the two main technologies that we use are the calculator and StatCrunch. So when you go back to the class after you read, what I've got posted in here under chapter 9 and 10 resources is I've got notes on section 9.1. And when you open those up, it's take copies and pastes some of the highlights from the chapter. But what's really nice in here is that when you have an example, I've got a video solution of by hand, a video solution using the calculator, and a video solution using StatCrunch. And then usually after that, I'll usually have the steps for using a calculator because most of my students seem to prefer that, but you don't have to. So when you click on Video Solution in StatCrunch, these are linked from Pearson MyMathLab.
In this example, we'll learn to construct a confidence interval for a population.
And then this helps you use the technology. So read this section and then use the notes to links to videos so that you can learn how to use the technology. Other items that I have in here, I've got a technology video. This shows you how to use both StatCrunch and the calculator for confidence intervals, and it also discusses what a confidence interval is for a proportion. Then, as I get homework questions, I'll also put in here recordings of different homework problems. The first one is using a calculator. The second one, I think the second one is a calculator as well. So read the sections, look at the technology videos to see how to use technology. Then what else can you do? So while you're in MyLab and Mastering, the next thing you can do while you're working on your homework, so let me get to a homework problem. If you're working on section 9.1, use the help keys inside of homework. So many times the question help, let me get to one that's a little bit more complicated here. There we go. The question help, there's a help me solve this. Many times, or a show me an example. Many times, these are going to go through how to do it by hand. So I don't recommend that you use that particular question help, do an example, or help me solve this. What I do recommend is instead, there's a tech help, and it gives you step-by-step 83, 84s, and it gives you step-by-step StatCrunch. Okay. There's also, I really wish you would use Ask My Instructor, and then type your question here, send it, and what it does, it will send me an email with a link to the problem that you're working on. And if you give me your specific question, then I can help you right away, or I'll even make a video and post it in our class so everybody can take a look at it. So other places where you can get help, on the front page, I've got office hours. So I'm trying to do some Zoom office hours for statistics only on Tuesday from 2 to 3. So I've got a link in there for that. I've also got office hours where you can make an appointment through Calendly. And then also I have a link to the tutoring services at Yavapai. And this takes you to the page. Oops. In this video, we'll take, that's not the right page. I'll put the right page in there. But the tutoring services, it will take you to this page. And below it says it's online only. You can view the tutoring session. It shows you how to join a Zoom meeting and a drop-in tutor by subject. So here are all the subjects. So when you click on math, it will tell you, I recommend Sierra. Also recommend, who else do I see? Joanne, Lynn. But honestly, they're not, they don't know exactly what I'm using as technology. So I would really encourage you to ask me first through either Ask My Instructor or some other means or office hours, and then go to tutoring after that. So I hope this helps. I really want you to be successful.